best of luck to you, Coverdales and RXS. It's the old Philly rematch. Here we go. Counting it down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Alright, Lapis. I got you. I told you it'd all work out eventually. Just took a little bit of extra time for us to get there. And where's Maestro? There's Maestro. The old Big Daddy crew. Back in action. Maestro is indeed live, Lapis. So I'm going to generate a seed for you and Maestro. A lot of healthy dosage of ease on the seed. EE 5E 89. Alright, early on here between RXS and Coverdales, it's 82,000 for Coverdales, 60,000 for RXS. RXS has some early burn-in to go through here. Alright, Micetro versus Lapis. CryticaLapis. Not to be confused with any other Lapises. Maestro hitting the old good luck, have fun. Coverdale's hitting up near next box height, needing to find a way out of this, but Coverdales does have the rolling abilities. Will they be enough to get him out of this, though? Oh my god, how's he getting those bars over it? Oh, the rolling privilege is real, and Coverdales is abusing it right now. What is this dig by cover here? Alright, let me... We are gonna count down here for... Behold the power of rolling. Thank you, Toast. Oh, no, all good, Lapis. Sorry for all the delays, but I'm glad I could take the match here for you and Maestro, so hopefully it's a fun one. Here we go. Maestro versus Lapis, the other CTBW match in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And Coverdales does end up topping out at 108,000, which means RXS, you've gotten game number 1 here over cover. CTMP show bi-weekly. Thank you, Toast. Well, don't forget the Wars raid. So somehow you have to fit the Wars factor into that, I guess. Actually, while we're at it, we had a CTM match earlier. Also, some div matches for TNP. I think the only thing I was missing was a CTL match, except Coverdale's already covered that on the main show. So yeah, we are legitimately repping every major Tetris league here. Actually, no, wait, we didn't have a DAS League match. All right, we were missing the DAS League match, but we got all the other ones. Yep, all good, RXS. Take a moment. CTNP show by War. Thanks, Toast. Alright, ooh. Maestro getting into a bit of a high board here early on. Trying to find the right pieces to work through this. Okay, just slings that bar all the way to the right, slings another one all the way to the left. Trying to give himself enough space to work out of this. Incredible instincts here, and he gets the well reopen. What is that dash survival here by Maestro? Alright, early on, 93,000 from Micetro, 112 from Lapis, who takes a dirty left wall Tetris. Was that a Tetris from Lapis? How the heck was that a Tetris? Okay. Already some crazy antics from both players here on our bottom match. So far, so good here. Alright, now Lapis getting a bit high up on the board here, but nothing that a little rolling can't solve. Oh, misses the flat J burn there. Now Lapis running into some more complications. But is getting this cleaned up. I think this is... I can never be sure how these things are going to play out. Alright, I guess I shouldn't have doubted it, as Lapis does indeed get the board back under control. 269 currently for Lapis, 370 for Micetro, who is now running away with this game for the moment. Also, hey now for Omen out there. Now, speaking of drilling, where there's oil from earlier... Oh, thanks, Toast. Hold on. Alright, looks like RXS is back and ready to go, so we will count down RXS and cover whenever they're ready. Yep, glad to have it, UC. Thanks for stopping by. Always glad to have you on the show. Alright. RXS and Coverdales are ready for game 2. Let's count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, let's see if I can... Micetro and Lapis closing in on 19 speeds. Micetro with a 100,000 point lead here, so we'll have quite the advantage going into 19, but Lapis has the stacking capabilities, so see if you can cut down on that. Although Lapis get immediately running into some traffic as he enters 19. But he's making the burns necessary, gets the well reopened yet again. But now where's the bar for Lapis? Has to take a triple. Lapis trying to work through this. Insane plays right now. Finally gets the Tetris. 510 for Lapis, 576 for Micetro. Meanwhile, early on up top, it's 96,000 from RXS, 87,000 from Coverdales. Okay, well played, Toast. That was a good. I did appreciate that. Alright, oh. Alright, Tetris from Micetro, Tetris from Lapis. Lapis is actually caught all the way back up here on this short stretch of 19. 735 for Lapis. 689 for Micetro, which should be worth noting. Lapis has also gotten a bit ahead in lines here, so pace-wise, this is still pretty close between Lapis and Micetro. In the real time, Micetro is ahead on points now. Or Lapis is ahead on points, but Maestro's... You know what I mean. Right, meanwhile, closing in on halfway through 18 speeds, it is a close one between RXS and Coverdales. RxS at 186, Coverdale's at 233. Micetro having to make some more. Sorry, not Lapis having to make some more burns here. I don't know why my brain's got my wires crossed here. 852 for Lapis, 791 for Micetro. Both players just cleanly stacking and building up here. It is still a 1 level difference between Micetro and Lapis, though. So, again, pace-wise, Maestro's got the advantage, but in the real time, Lapis is outscoring. So this will really come down to how far into 29 can Lapis take this one. Oh, nice Tetris by Micetro. Oh, now having to sell out the board for another bar, and Maestro's not going to get that bar. Micetro will top out at 899. Lapis already with the max out. We'll take game number 1 here. And the Tetris on to level 31. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, Coverdale's up to 303, RxS 259. Coverdale's does have the lead for the moment here on 18 speeds. RxS suffering a bit from a pace perspective. You know, Lapis closing out with a casual 1.1 here. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. Nope, you're all good, Lapis. I can always appreciate a Mullen on 29 speeds. Oh, yeah, that's also fair. Alright. Oh, also fair, Lapis. I'm never sure how loud is too loud for me to speak, so... As long as the music's not drowning me out, but I highly doubt it is. Alright, closing in on transition here. Coverdale's setting up for a dirty center well here. He'll get it. 366 for Coverdale's, 320 for RxS. So this will be pretty close between RxS and Coverdale's going into 19. And so we play the game of what can these two do on 19 speeds. Although Coverdale's going to need a better board than this if he wants to find out. But no time to fix it. He just has to go in with this board. And he is not going to survive that. Coverdale's tops out at 372, which means RxS needs to get to 373. Meanwhile, Lapis and Micetro starting off game 2. Let's count them down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh no, RxS! RxS hangs the J piece! And he's done at 354. I can't believe it. Coverdale's miraculously will take game 2. Narx is saying that. All right, well, that's your call, RxS. Okay, that's fine. I trust. If you say you can't play, I'm not gonna force your access. You know that. As it is right now, it's 1-1, so it's a clean slate anyway. Well, I mean, obviously the 2 games will count, but no, it's all good, RxS. You were just trying to fulfill your desire as a scheduler to try and get the tournament done. I can certainly appreciate that. But don't worry. We'll take care of things another time. This can wait for now. Oh, cover. RXS is wondering if you can play tomorrow. Okay, also on our bottom match here, early on, it is 197 from CryticaLapis, 196 from Micetro. Both players will add a Tetris onto that. So, the old Das versus Roll here, and somehow these two are just having the same score and potential on 18 right now. I don't know, what can I say, folks? Coverdales is unsure if he can play tomorrow. Well, circle back and find out at a later point. Depending on what I have to do tomorrow, I could potentially take that match if you all figure it out. But don't write me down for it, because I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow either. I really need to get a new phone because mine is in bad shape. I don't even want to have it for me to Thanksgiving at this rate. I have a funny story about that RXS, but I'll save that for another time. Less of a story and more than like a series of anecdotes. What are stories if not just a series of anecdotes? You know what, Toast? That is the type of wisdom I need in my life. Well played. All right, we also need score updates, but then again, I could have just told the players they were tied, and I would be right. They both have 428,000 points. And they'll both add a Tetris onto that, so now they both have 451,000 points. Like, what do you want to say, folks? It's not the Tetris match I was expecting, but gosh darn. It's a Tetris match I'm glad to have, because Micetro and CryticaLapis are making things interesting here, and we haven't even gotten to the 19 stretch yet. I know, RXS. I know. That wasn't even what I was referencing, but yeah. RXS needs an assistant and probably a cold beverage. I think we can do the assistant part. We got this guy named this and that. He's pretty good at this stuff, so I think he'd make a pretty good assistant. As for the cold beverage, you're right, Toast. I should pour myself a glass of chocolate milk. That's a brilliant idea. Except I can't leave the match right now because both players are about to reach 19 speeds. Here we go. Micetro will be the first one in, going in with 601,000 points into 19. But not to be outdone, CryticaLapis goes in with 658 into 19. So, I mean, here we go. This is, for all intents and purposes, still a close one between these two. But what's it going to take? I don't know. We'll just see who can outlast the other on 19. Who can put up an extra Tetris or two in the process. He's on an airplane. Yes, that's such a great sentence to read, Stone. Chalky milk is a great choice. You know how it is, Toast. I have my vices. It's sugar. Sugar is the vice. Micetro doesn't have anyone helping manage his Tetris schedule. I have my whiteboard calendar to manage my Tetris schedule. That's my manager. Right, also, 8:57 here for CryticaLapis, 7:15 for Micetro. Yeah, kids do silly things sometimes. Nice moves here by Micetro, continuing to build up the board here, trying to hold out for that next bar for the Tetris, but having to take the burns when needed here, and they are needed as now the bar is delaying its arrival. Oh, well, there it shows up, but Micetro not able to use it. Now trying to hold out for another one. Man, this game's not making it easy, but Micetro making all the right moves. He'll take the Tetris up to 8:53. Lapis with the max out on level 26. But now Lapis's board is starting to fall apart a bit here. Can CryticaLapis get this one out? Okay, just throwing everything to the left right now. This is insanity here. Lapis still having to fight this board. A40 for Lapis, 930 for Micetro. At this point, I think Micetro needs to out. He's either got to set up for more than one, or he's just got to try and play it perfect, I think. Well, Micestro's going to go for a setup here. Does knock down he got the max out here. It's A14 from Micetro, but A14's not enough. What are you supposed to do? And Lapis takes game number 2 with a B07, and you can play this one out, Lapis, don't worry. We're here for it. We want to see it. Get your into 39 record or something. Show them how it's done. B94 on level 31 also works too. Jeez Louise. Alright, that's game 2 for you. Throw this back to the... Oh, okay, yeah, there's a... As you can see, our board is in great shape here. Alright, that's a little bit better. Okay, somehow that was very minimal changes made. Needed to get this back. Alright. No way, he's still here, right? Max, why are you still here? You have school in the morning. Is RXS okay? To be honest, I'm not sure, CryticaLapis, but I think he'll be fine eventually. I will be by Boston. That's not reassuring, RXS. Alright, well, unfortunately, I gotta count this one down, so. Here we go. Game number 3 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. I'll lock in a bit harder on 29 this game. But yeah, kudos to Micetro for just the casual max out there in comp. That's scary. Also, Toast, the funny thing about the young generation taking over is they all start out as unknowns, so you never know who will be next in line. One day you just wake up and find out that some new kids got a rollover on into level 34 or something. I don't freaking know. The community is alive and well. event looks really fun this year. You should come out, Math. You know, RXS, I am debating it, I'm not gonna lie. Because I would like to do more in-person stuff for 2026. And I might have more time and resources than I had this past calendar year. So, Boston's on my radar, but I haven't made up my mind yet. The game version Fractal made looks pretty sweet. I gotta take a closer look at that stuff. Alright, 50 lines into our game here. It's 201 for Micetro, 254 for Lapis. I feel like nothing too crazy is gonna happen here in the next 20-30 lines, right? So, still think I can pour myself that drink? I'm gonna pour myself that drink. Sorry, folks. My throat is very dry here. Okay, well, now Lapis is gonna get into a dig just to make me watch this. Nah, just kidding. Lapis got a dirty Tetris instead. All right, I think these two will be fine. All right, I'll be right back, folks. I'm grabbing myself a brief beverage because I can. I actually triply lied here because one, I could actually see the stream on my phone, so I knew both players were fine during that sequence. Mostly fine. 358 for Micetro, 448 for CryticaLapis. Two, I lied because I didn't get chocolate milk. This is actually a fruit smoothie drink that I had in the fridge. It's a combination of pears, apples, and cherries. It's got a bit of tartness to it, but it's a real nice beverage. And three, I actually did know about, I had heard about the exhaustion thing toast. And then I thought about it, and I thought to myself, well, I am a Das Tap hybrid, so I won't get penalized as much as some other players, but also I will get penalized. Then again, it's not like I go to regionals to seriously compete, except to try and win silver brackets, of course. I can always be in the running for the silver brackets. Oh yeah, Arxis said the same thing. Yeah, exactly, Arxis. It wouldn't be advantageous. I would be curious to play the game mode, though. Honestly, it'd just be cool, just because the people are going to be there. But that's also, I guess, a thing. I want to see who ends up going there. I might do it anyway, though. I don't know. I think the other big thing would be figuring out where I would stay during that. The last two times were pretty easy for me. I was able to room with COVERDALES and then technically room with Omen for Kansas City. Alright, 569 for Micetro, by the way, on level 20. 713 for CryticaLapis. Sorry for the lack of game commentary here. I don't feel like there's a whole lot I can add to this. I think the displays of excellence with the rolling and dash respectively speak for themselves, so I'm just enjoying the show with everyone else here. Well, so the score difference hasn't really changed a whole lot. Well, it technically has changed. The lead is growing in Lapis's favor, so all Maestro can do is just try and keep scoring Tetrises, and all Lapis can do is just try and keep running away with this. And so we'll see if anything changes here. Right now, both players do. Oh my god, that's a lot of bars. So many bars. Okay. I think Fractal's experiments are cool, but low-key shame. One of the most stacked regionals by strength. No, not True Stolen. The Philly regional this past year, that was a stacked regional by strength. So you can't say there haven't been the opportunities. That was a regional with what? Meme, Fractal, Cole, Tristop, Huff. I swear to God, I'm forgetting at least a couple other people. RXS probably remembers better than I do, but so we've had the stacked regionals already. Flagrant false advertising. I'm sorry, Toast. All right, 851 here for Micetro on level 26, and CryticaLapis once again with the max out on level 26. You know, you have to give Micetro credit here. This is one of the premier displays of DAS. Unfortunately for him, he's going up against one of the premier displays of rolling. There's a reason why CryticaLapis is a high-end CTL player, folks, and a Masters level player. It's because CryticaLapis can do stuff like this. And so, considering that Lapis has about to have a 1.2 here before 29, I'm just going to say take your victory lap, Lapis, and take your concession lap, Maestro. Well, 981. Not bad. Not bad at all for Maestro there. That was a very solid 3-game stretch. I think Maestro averaged 900k a game there across those 3 games. So, hey, it'll at least look good on the stats here, Maestro. Luckily for you, we keep stats around here, and by we, I mean Ricky Stacks. Hell yeah. MIT lecture hall, still lecture hall. It wouldn't be the first time I've done a video game antics in a lecture hall. It's actually funny I can say that. Also, yep, just casual D23. For those at home who aren't familiar with the letters, that's a 1.32 million on the level 32. Yep, I mean, if people still want to play Tetris after that, you can, but also, I don't think we're topping that tonight, folks. There will be a silver bracket at Boston for the first time. Okay, yeah, no, you might have sold me on that one, RXS. Toast saying I love that silver brackets are becoming a thing. Me too, Toast. Me too. You know what I would really love, Toast, is if I could get all the silver bracket regional winners and just have them all play in their own mini tournament. I think that would be fun. Yeah, Texas and California sort of still dominating the map on Tetris regionals. Toast saying time for bed. Do you still have to work tomorrow? That's fair, Toast. I'm off from work, but hopefully your workday goes well. Maestro saying never been more proud of a sweep. Yeah, no, you did amazing, Maestro. Nothing to feel bad about. CryticaLapis, I'm too tired to be safe. Well, we're glad you played aggressive, Critical. Because that was fun to watch. This match is being considered for my premier poll for both players, as Arik says. I only get to vote in the open, but I as a premier poll voter, I can't confirm or deny where my standings on Critical Lapis are, but I will say that all of my premier poll votes